Hey, it's Tom here from the Synthopia event from Klangfarbe in Vienna, and I'm here with Marcel from Modor.
Hello.
He came for
Hello.
one day to the event. That's fantastic, and I need to make a video with him or a little interview with him. How are you, Marcel?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm a bit tired because of the very fast blitz visits that I'm paying to Klangfarbe now, but no, I'm fine.
It's super fast with less than 24 hours, I think.
Yeah, actually, like 10 hours in Klangfarbe and then back home.
And you brought even your two synthesizer with you, or you showing your two,
Yeah.
the NF-1, the synthesizer, and the DR-2, the drum machine.
Yeah.
For me, because many people know your products, it's Modor, but you're coming from Belgium, or?
Belgium, indeed. Yeah.
And what many doesn't know, I think you are only one person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's indeed a small one-man company still on my little room in my house on the attic, with a lot of cartons everywhere around. No, it's still a one-man small company indeed.
That's impressive. And so you are developing and building at
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
or you have a company who is doing the
yeah.
building stuff for you.
Yeah, I do the final assembly, of course. The big how's it called, PCBs, the print boards with all the little electronic components on it. It's of course assembled in a electronics factory. Same goes for the cases. I get the empty metal cases, but with the print on it and stuff. And so then I do the final assembly myself. I put the prints in it. I put the knobs on it,
Okay.
and yeah, packaging, and then it's ready.
And when you started Modo, it's already more than 10 years? Or
Yeah, it's almost 10 years now. In 2015, we came out with our first synthesizer, the NF-1. And let's say the idea when I started building or developing the NF-1 in the beginning was around 2010, I think.
okay.
Yeah.
And you had already experience before this? You were in a company, or it just you? Where do you started? Because it's something that interests me always. Where the
Yeah.
people coming?
Yeah, well, I didn't have any experience in building synthesizers or something. I did have, I have an education as an engineer, so I did have some knowledge of programming and of electronics and stuff. And on the other hand, when I was a teenager back in the days, I was also building little things with electronics. And so at a certain moment, it was like the old hobby from in the days, and the knowledge I got from the engineering together makes a little synthesizer company.
And we see your products are made as are digital, not
Yeah.
now analog. So you have more the passion for creating digital stuff, or you have also a bit.
Yeah, let's say it's two things. I'm not such a good electronics engineer, so really going to make the fine analog electronics is a bit too high for me. But also I saw, especially back in the days when I started it, 2010 to 2015, I saw that there was still a lot to do in digital synthesis while everybody was going after the ultimate analog sound.
And to get people a bit of an idea how long such a development works. So the NF1 it was your first instrument. How long do you work on that? How many years or?
Yeah, I worked on it 4 to 5 years, more or less, but I had a daytime job at the time. And so then the DR2 took me around 5 years, but then I had the daytime job of building and selling synthesizers in the meantime, let's say.
4 or 5 years for making one
Yeah.
device. If you create a new product, or let's say the NF1 or DR2, where do you take the ideas more from communities, or is it just your own passion to say, what I want to see in an instrument? So where do you start?
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I start with my own ideas. So I was also doing back in the days when I was a teenager. I also have been programming a little. So actually the basic idea behind the NF-1 already existed even way longer ago than 2010. But it's an interesting question, because especially on the DR2, but also a bit on the NF-1, we always take comments from people, suggestions, ideas, and especially the DR2 has had a lot of suggestions from users. If you compare the original firmware to what it has become today, it's really boosted completely.
And then probably your music direct, because this one is very techno-weed, I think. Well, I'm wrong.
I think it's basically, yeah, it's a drum synthesizer. Do you go towards techno or do you use it for other stuff? Yeah, everything where there is an electronic rhythm in it, you can try to do it on the DR2. It's more experimental than just ready-made for techno or something.
And now I see you are still updating in it. It's not just that the product is available, you're also releasing a lot of updates in it. Just recently released also a new one, also with the new algorithms. Or, is this stuff coming from the community, or is it stuff from you? You think, no, I need to add this to the unit?
Yeah, well, both. But for the DR2, as I said, almost the majority of the ideas come from the community, effectively.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see you have a very, I say, the look of the units are very similar. Is this look from you? You design? Because for me, it's always interesting to see where, if you're one person in the company. Are you doing also the designs of this front panels, or is it something you share with maybe a second guy or?
No, I did a design myself. Let's say the logo, I had a rough idea from a friend, and then a professional designer finalized the logo of Modor. But the design of the front panel I made myself. And I remember back in the day when I was designing the front panel for the NF-1, yeah, I was giving it a classic look, where the knobs are nicely aligned, vertical and horizontal, and there was always like, I just don't have enough place, and then this knob has to stand on another position, and it never fitted until I had the idea of letting the square lines loose, because also the idea behind the NF-1 and the digital synthesis was to go on where the synthesizer developers from the big companies left in the late 80s. After they made FM, and they made there were a few more experimental synthesizers that didn't sell that well, and they had like a little screen and two buttons and a knob, completely impossible to program, but with a wonderful sound in it. Yeah, that kind of stuff indeed. And I'm also thinking about the Morpheus, the EMU Morpheus with the very special filter stuff in it. Anyway, that was a time, the late 80s, I think. Those designers stopped developing because, I don't know, maybe their machines didn't sell, but personally I think it was because they had the one screen with two buttons and one knob, impossible to program. And so that design of the late 80s, you see there was a lot of design in that time. It used oblique lines and also the purple and pink colors. We didn't take the color scheme, but we took the oblique lines, and then in a certain moment everything fitted together. It was like, oh, this is the design that I need.
The clicky buttons are also a bit more vintage.
Yeah, they are too on some Oberheim synthesizers. It's a thing that already exists for many years. They are not exactly cheap, but not the most expensive either. So yeah, it was just a good choice. And also when you look at the sequencer, for example, you can do that.
Yeah.
And you just push all the buttons together.
It works.
This time I skipped one.
Yeah, I think these push buttons give a very analog feel to it, a bit more. Yeah. You're probably also doing music yourself.
Oh, way too little.
If the time allows.
Yeah.
Does your music also influence the designs of your instruments, or a bit what you're doing of music, or what are you doing? Yeah. What kind of music?
Well, let's say when I was a teenager, I made a lot of electronic music. That was with tracker programs and stuff. And at the time I thought, oh, I am so good. I am the new world wonder. I'm going to be so famous in a few years. It just has to happen. But where did I want to go? Anyway, the music that I made in that time, it was something like, yeah, it went from the Prodigy kind of things, very lot of breakbeats with hard distorted sounds, but also with a lot of digital sampling and stuff on it. So that's indeed an important source of ideas to build synthesizers today. The ideas that I get myself, next to the ideas from the community.
And what is now the future for Modor? Is something what you can also already tease? Maybe an update, or what we can expect from you?
Yeah, I'm building a new machine, but I'm not going to tell too much about it. Not because it has to be a secret, but also because I've had it to other situations in the past where I thought I had a very good idea, and then I was developing it, and I felt like, no, this is not going anywhere. So if I make a promise today, I'm going to build that machine, maybe in half a year time, I say like, it's not going to happen.
And any updates plans maybe for DR-2 or NF-1? Or is still NF-1 in development, in the firmware, or is something?
Yeah, I always have a list of little bug reports that people give. There are still a few bugs for the NF-1 that I would like to solve. New ideas for the NF-1, I don't have them at the moment anymore. We'll see. If tomorrow some user sends me a good suggestion, we'll see. So I think...
So send some interesting ideas for NF-1. Maybe we can then see an update for it.
Yeah, feel free, send them to me. They are very welcome.
And for the DR-2, I think there's more the focus on this one.
Yeah, the big idea that I still want to add, and originally I didn't want to add a bassline, machine, because it's a drum machine and basslines would lead too far away from the basic drum idea. But now in the upcoming firmware upgrade, there will be a bassline model too, cool. Because during the years we added parameter locks, and now so actually if you use parameter locks on the pitch, you can make melodies. Okay. So your bassline generator is already coming very close.
And this will be the next update then for the DR-2?
That will be the next update, and shouldn't be too long, but I'm not making promises about the exact date.
Okay, then I'm looking for this update. Thank you, Marcel. Thank you to coming to Vienna, to the Klangfarbe.
Yeah, you're very welcome, very welcome.
Then, and hopefully next time, then a bit longer in Vienna, that you can enjoy the live, the live of Vienna here. Thank you.
Yeah.
And go back to Belgium.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Yeah.
Hope to see you again in the next video.
Yeah,
Bye.
Thank you especially. Bye.
Bye. And thank you to Andy of Klangfarbe for the camera.